Okay, card 3 is when we get to start playing with the umbrellas. I think they're such a cute feature of this card. So this time you have a little bag with stuff, including these little dots. I'm trying to remember what these were called. I'm sorry, I don't remember. That you can put in the center of your umbrellas if you want. You either got big or small, and then we'll use different bling on the sand. This time you have your two-tone background piece. I used the lighter color and stamped on it. You have your sand. This is where we're going to use that die I was trying to make you guys use on the last one. We have our wave that goes over the sand. Uh-oh. I feel like, oh, there's more pieces in there. Okay, trying to keep track of all the things. I think this wave is actually the inside piece. I think that's the inside one. Okay, and then our front piece, yes, this is going to be the one that cuts across, and the white that will overlay it. Oh, no. Okay, so you have two whites. The thick one, it's up to you, but that's what I cut the umbrellas over. I just had some thick white scraps I needed to use, and so I felt the umbrellas would be easy to cut. That's the thick, so you're going to cut umbrellas. This thin piece is going to be this. Okay, your umbrellas, you're going to cut 2 out of this. Okay, 2 of this pattern. All right, and then you're going to cut 1 each of the one that looks like a spider web. You're going to cut 1 each of the coral and the yellow, and then you'll use them on both cards. They'll just be inverted, and I will show you how that works. I'm going to give you guys a bunch of things to cut. And then this piece is this. You don't need the whole thing. I just was cutting the paper in the most convenient way. Okay, so we have those pieces. We have our inside piece that is just what we did on card 1. You stamp it and then you die cut it. Okay, same as card 1. And then this is the other thing we're going to die cut. So let's get this piece ready. All right, so now we're going to use the little stamps. I'm still using the speckles, and I still sponge the edges, but there's this stamp with the starfish. Now really you could do starfish and you could use those, but I was being lazy, so I only did this because it has 3 at once, so that was fast. And the sand. What else was I going to tell you about this one? I don't know, it left me. All right, so let's put some starfish. I may have stamped off on the starfish. I can't remember. Sometimes they look so dark. Let's see what happens. Maybe I did a mix. No, I don't think I stamped off. Well, those are looking pretty dark. Anyway, just stick some starfish around. You could do them in different, that is a starfish covered sandy beach here. No, don't stamp off. You can't really see. This again is sand. There's going to be umbrellas. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now I think once I had my wave, I came in and put a little more of these speckles along the wave line, but I'm just going to kind of guess where it is. Anyway, get your background, and then you can, of course, do some more sponging on the edge if you want, or you cannot. Hopefully this is staying in the camera. Okay, you don't need to do the top because we're going to cut the top. So this, it's going to kind of get hidden anyway with the wave. But, oh, where did that piece go? Now I can't find that long skinny piece that in. Let me pause and look for it. I found it. Let's talk again about all the things we're die cutting, okay? I forgot about the seashells. You're gonna be cutting seashells on every card, all right? So I hardly have any of the beige ones. So if you have beige left from the last card, you could just skip that. I just have like a couple little beige ones stuck in there. So, and they probably were left over from other cards when I first did it. But you could cut some beige shells, some petal pink shells, and then this, and then of course you've got your umbrellas, your waves, that you don't have to do anything on yet. And then this, you're just going to cut a line. I'm trying to think how far up. Kind of go up to the edge, maybe an inch down. That looks like about an inch, right? One, two, yeah, about an inch down here and close to the edge up there, okay? So that's a lot of die cutting and 3 umbrellas. Oh no, you only need 2 for this card, but you'll eventually need 4 so that you can have 1 for each card. All right, we'll be back after die cutting. Okay, I just finished die cutting, and I know this class has a lot of die cutting. All right, so you should have all of these pieces when you're done. Okay, you've got your 2 waves, you've got your pile of seashells, you've got umbrellas and 2 whites. This is all for 1 card, but these will be shared. I should have cut all my umbrellas so I could show you, but you'll see what I mean. Okay, so then the little bit of stamping, I didn't do the inside. Stamp the blue die cut if you want to do that. Or don't if you don't want to. Okay, so this top, now we're just gonna stamp that big background layer on it. And I'm doing it in Pool Party this time. And then the other stamping is our greeting. Where were those down? It must be here somewhere. Probably in that bag. Okay, so again, I left some spaces so that you're seeing different colors. If you fill the whole thing, and I don't even have my pad under me, the what is it called? The piercing mat underneath this time. Okay, I kind of don't like that big gap there in the middle. I mean, but it could be covered and not matter, but just for fun. Wow, it's fine. All right, then we're going to put this layer on top. Okay, I don't know why, sometimes lining all these layers up. Okay, I'm going to put those on top, and then let's talk about the umbrellas. So you're going to put it, line it up like so. Whoops. Okay, I can't even remember how I did this. Okay, one of them is gonna have that big outside, okay, like so. And then one of them is gonna look like this one. No. Wow, guys, I can't even remember how to put the umbrella together. Okay, take it back. One of them is gonna be like this, as you see there. I just don't have it lined up straight. And one is going to have the outside and this piece. And then you'll stick those little gems I gave you in the center, okay? And then you'll do the same with your other 2 where you have it like this yellow. So I'll save that for the other one. And I'll do this one. Yeah, I'm doing opposite of what you see there. Right. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you guys watched how perfectly I did that. Okay, there's those two, and see how they're the opposite of those two. So one of your cards will have them like that, and one will have them like that. And this whole piece right here, it's gonna go flat on this card. And then you'll pop up your umbrellas, and I popped up a seashell as well. But let's get this lay in there. And then we just trim off the back like we have done a dozen times. Now this time I lined my paper up, but I may leave it off a little, off kilter. I kind of like that look, even though I hadn't thought to do that before. I'm just going to use these umbrellas to see how much room I need to make sure my stuff can fit. Oh, you know what I see that I did there? This is how I actually did this. I'm so sorry, I can't remember these things. Okay, I actually tucked that under like that, and so you sort of see the wave and the sand peeking through while still having this different wave. So it really didn't have to line up at all. It kind of is just, if you like to have the sand peeking through, you can do it like that. Okay, you can tuck your big wave under there. Otherwise, you can do what I was thinking I did. I just was like, why did we even cut that if we're not going to see it, if we're just going to cover it? But I did cut it. So let's see our sand since I cut it. Let's make it count. I'm going to just stick some glue here. Every time I tell myself I should make these videos right after I make the card, but I'm always busy trying to get the word out, and then wow, don't do the glue the way I just did that. That was silliness. Put it on your paper, not on your cardstock. Okay, and then this we're gonna come however you want, doesn't matter. You can have some sand peeking through. You just get to try to have your glue match, not go off on the edge parts. I'm gonna stick a little bit up here. Again, when I've seen this done, often people are brushing glue all over with a sponge. But I just feel lazy and I don't have that set up. So hold that for a second. Now I have not left very much room for my umbrellas. You can see that I did all of this a little higher on my first one. And since my glue hasn't dried, I'm gonna stick it a little higher so my umbrellas aren't so squished down at the bottom. All right. And then the usual, cut this off the back once it's dry. Oh, but don't cut your original. Look at what I just did. Don't do what I did. Don't do that. It's because I don't know why I'm doing that. It's like I know I'm cutting through multiple layers and then I get carried away. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and put this onto my card base. Okay, you could do it either way. I've seen this card going that way with the umbrellas up there. For me, I like it better. This is another stamp with Melissa Copycat, by the way. She had some great projects. Okay. There we, oops. There. And then, I can't find, oh, there they are. Phew. I stamped that in Pretty Peacock just because I had that color. And by the way, the blue on that Polaroid color, your sheet will say this was Azure Afternoon instead of Peacock. But you can do whatever colors you want. This time I centered it right on there. And it is a tight squeeze. Whoa, that barely fit off the top going on the dots, and that barely fit on the bottom. So careful with that one. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you the rest of this, guys, to keep the video shorter, I should say. Okay, so this will be popped up on dimensionals, and I don't put one too close to the edge if you want to shove a little shell under there. Okay, then I take your twine. Wow, this one doesn't have twine either, unless it's down in here. Goodness gracious, ladies, if I missed giving you twine, please tell me. You should have gotten lots of twine. But you'll want 2 strands, about 10 inches, 9 to 10 inches for each card. And you might have gotten a big long one that you can cut up. Now I gotta go check the kits that are still here and make sure that they got them. But I think I know why. It's because I set these cards aside before I put twine. Anyway, 2 strands of twine. I just hold them at the same time. I'm going to show you that. Okay, so you might have had 2 pieces. If you only have 1 piece, then it means you're probably supposed to cut it into 4, 2 for each card. Okay, so I take 2 at once. And I just tie it into a bow. And then it's a little bigger, it gives me a little bigger center to put that glue dot. And this is where sometimes instead of rolling it up, hold on, let me actually attach this. And I see some of my wave pieces wanting to get caught. And so I'm actually gonna go shove a little glue under there. And I like to have a thing up on dimensionals to sort of butt my glue dot against, to try to not have it just, try to keep my thing from falling off too. So I'll just pick up this one instead of roll it in a dot because I have a bigger surface, and I'll just fold the glue dot under if needed, okay? And then so that you don't have to watch me perfectly match up my umbrellas slowly and glue them, I think you get the rest. Again, I'll tell you my dimensionals. Excuse me. These are on dimensionals, this birthday and that shell. Everything else is flat. On your last little piece, you'll stamp on blue, die cut it if you want it on the inside. Add some shells. I did sponge ink again on these shells. And that concludes card 3.